My grandmother, who has always been very conservative, suddenly became interested in TikTok. She started filming videos of our family dinners, but with an unexpected humor. At first, everyone was shocked, but then her videos went viral, and now we all make funny videos together. Scandals have turned into a creative process. Instead of arguing over silly things, we brainstorm new ideas for content. Somehow, Grandma turned our routine into an endless source of entertainment. It all started when she got a smartphone for her birthday. She was supposed to use it just for video calls, but curiosity led her to TikTok. She was amazed at how people shared their daily lives in short clips. One day, she secretly filmed my dad struggling to open a jar of pickles, added dramatic music, and posted it. To our surprise, the video gained thousands of views overnight, and Grandma became obsessed with her new hobby. She soon developed her own style, mixing traditional values with modern trends. She made a video comparing our family's old school traditions with today's fast-paced lifestyle, and it exploded online. People loved the contrast of her serious expressions with the absurdity of the trends she recreated. Her followers grew rapidly, and within a few months, she had more fans than all of us combined. Even my skeptical uncle had to admit she was onto something big. Before we knew it, brands started reaching out to her for collaborations. At first, we thought it was a joke, but then she actually got offers to promote kitchen gadgets, vintage clothing, and even herbal teas. Grandma, who once refused to touch a computer, was now negotiating sponsorship deals. She even made us rehearse skits, insisting on multiple takes until the timing was perfect. What was once her casual hobby had turned into a full-blown production. The funniest part, she started acting like a real influencer. She'd wake up early to check analytics, analyze trends, and tell us what was hot this week. We had to help her shoot at golden hour because lighting matters, and she even made my grandpa participate in some videos. He grumbled at first, but after seeing the engagement numbers, he embraced the role of her comedic sidekick. They became an unstoppable duo, winning the hearts of millions. Of course, not everyone in the family was thrilled. My mom worried that Grandma was spending too much time online. My aunt thought she was embarrassing us, but her opinion changed after a company sent Grandma free cookware. When Grandma bought a new TV with her first brand deal earnings, no one complained anymore. In fact, even my cousins started helping out, turning our living room into a mini studio. Our family dinners were now filled with camera angles and script discussions. One day, Grandma shocked us again. She got invited to a talk show to discuss her online success. Watching her sit among celebrities and confidently explain her strategy made us realize something. This was not just a phase. She had reinvented herself in a way none of us had expected. Seeing her so happy and energetic, we couldn't deny it anymore. She wasn't just keeping up with the times, she was setting the trends. Now, we all see the power of creativity. What started as a quirky experiment turned into something that brought us closer together. Grandma's TikTok journey became a family adventure, proving that age is never a barrier to success. Who knew that the woman who once scolded us for spending too much time online would become the biggest influencer in the family? My dad accidentally sent our family chat to live broadcasts. Our family WhatsApp chat has always been a place for heated discussions. One day, while trying to send a voice message, my dad accidentally started a live broadcast. All our quarrels, jokes, and family secrets became available to all our contacts. At first, it was chaos, but then we realized that it brought us together even more because all our friends started supporting us. The chat, once private, had become an unexpected reality show. It all started when Dad wanted to rant about my uncle's terrible cooking. Instead of sending a voice note, he accidentally hit the live button, streaming everything to our contact list. At first, no one noticed, but then messages started flooding in, friends laughing at our nonsense, distant relatives chiming in with their own stories. It was only when a coworker called to say, "I didn't know your family was this dramatic," that Dad realized the mistake. Panic set in immediately. My mom, horrified, tried to end the broadcast, but she had no idea how. My brother suggested turning off the phone, but by then, dozens of people were watching. Aunt Linda, who always had a flair for the dramatic, started explaining family feuds as if she was hosting a soap opera. Instead of stopping the chaos, it only made things worse. Now viewers were invested, waiting for the next twist in our family drama. Then something unexpected happened. People started commenting, cheering us on, and even relating to our stories. A friend from college texted, "Your family is just like mine," a neighbor said. "I wish I had your family's energy." What was meant to be an embarrassing moment suddenly became entertainment. Dad, instead of hiding in shame, embraced the situation and started answering questions from viewers, treating it like a queue and a session. Over the next hour, our group chat became a full-blown live podcast. MOM shared old family stories. Uncle Joe debated conspiracy theories, and Grandma, oblivious to the chaos, asked if anyone had eaten. My little sister, always the opportunist, started taking song requests. It was chaotic, unfiltered, and absolutely hilarious. What started as a mistake turned into a bonding experience, making us realize how much people enjoyed our family dynamic. Eventually, the stream ended mostly because Dad's phone overheated. We all sat there, exhausted from laughter, trying to process what just happened. Instead of being angry, we felt closer. Even the usually grumpy members of the family admitted it was fun. To our surprise, people kept messaging us, asking when the next episode would air. Some even suggested we start a family podcast. The idea, once ridiculous, suddenly didn't seem so bad. A few days later, we decided to try it again, but this time on purpose. We set up a proper live stream, introduced ourselves properly, and even had segments. Our accidental broadcast had transformed into a full-on family project. It wasn't just a chat anymore. It was a way to connect with others, to share laughter, and to appreciate the craziness that made our family special. Who knew that one simple mistake would change everything? Now, every Sunday, we go live not because we have to, but because we love it. Dad may have started this by accident, but in the end, it brought us closer than ever. Our once private arguments became inside jokes, our family became an online sensation, and most importantly, we learned to laugh at ourselves. What started as an embarrassing disaster became one of the best things that ever happened to us. Grandpa won the lottery and decided to divide the winnings among everyone, but with a condition. Instead of simply handing out the money, he turned it into a family quest. Each of us had to complete a funny or meaningful task to earn our share. At first, we thought he was joking, but he was dead serious. He handed out envelopes with personalized challenges, and suddenly, our family was thrown into the most unexpected competition of our lives. My dad's task was to cook a perfect meal, something he had never done in his life. MOM had to go an entire day without complaining, which was nearly impossible. My little sister had to stay off social media for 24 hours, and I had to make my grumpy uncle laugh. The stakes were high, and so was the level of absurdity. Some challenges were fun, while others tested patience. Grandpa sat back, enjoying the chaos he had created. The funniest moment came when my dad attempted to make lasagna. He misread the recipe and ended up baking noodles with ketchup and cheese slices. Emma, meanwhile, was struggling to hold back her natural instinct to critique everything. My sister was going through withdrawal, reaching for her phone every few minutes, only to stop herself at the last second. As for me, I spent hours trying different jokes until I finally made my uncle chuckle. Some challenges had unexpected emotional moments. My cousin, who had to write a heartfelt letter to a family member, ended up making my grandma cry tears of joy. Another cousin, tasked with doing a good deed, helped an elderly neighbor fix her fence. The competition slowly transformed into a bonding experience. We started encouraging each other rather than just focusing on our own rewards. Grandpa's game wasn't just about money, it was about bringing us together. As the challenges wrapped up, we gathered to present our results. Grandpa laughed at our efforts but was clearly proud of us. He surprised everyone by doubling the amount we expected, saying we had exceeded his expectations. He admitted that the money wasn't the important part, it was the experience. Through our struggles, mistakes, and teamwork, we had created memories that would last longer than any amount of cash. Even after the money was divided, the lesson stuck with us. My dad kept cooking, though he finally learned how to follow recipes. MOM realized she could go a day without complaints if she really tried. My sister reduced her screen time, and my grumpy uncle, he started smiling more. As for me, I discovered that laughter really could bring people together. Grandpa had orchestrated something greater than a simple lottery win. He had strengthened our family bond. A week later, Grandpa announced that he was planning another challenge, this time, just for fun. No money involved, just the joy of competing and spending time together. Instead of groaning, we all got excited. Somehow, his ridiculous idea had turned into a family tradition. The lottery win was just the beginning. The real treasure wasn't in the prize, it was in the way we learned to appreciate each other in a way we never had before. Now, every year, we gather for the family challenge, whether there's a reward or not. Grandpa's wisdom turned what could have been a simple cash giveaway into an unforgettable adventure. The money eventually got spent, but the memories, those are priceless. And if there's one thing we learned from it all, it's that sometimes the best rewards in life aren't the ones you expect. My parents decided to switch roles for a month, and it changed our family. My dad has always worked, and my mom has always been a housewife. One day, they made a bet Dad would become a stay-at-home parent, while mom would take over his office job. At first, it seemed like a fun experiment, but within days, chaos erupted. Dad had no idea how much work went into managing a household, and mom found office life more stressful than she expected. The first disaster struck on day one. Dad, confident in his abilities, decided to cook dinner. What was supposed to be a simple pasta dish turned into a burnt mess. The laundry pile doubled, and the kitchen looked like a tornado had passed through. Meanwhile, mom walked into Dad's office, expecting an easy day, but within an hour, she was overwhelmed by emails, meetings, and deadlines. They both realized they had underestimated each other's roles. By the end of the first week, Dad had developed a newfound respect for housework. He struggled to keep up with cooking, cleaning, and getting us to school on time. He had assumed staying at home would be relaxing, but between my little sister's tantrums and endless chores, he barely had a moment to breathe. Meanwhile, mom was getting frustrated with office politics and long hours, realizing that Dad's job was more mentally exhausting than she had imagined. Despite the initial struggles, things started to shift. Dad, determined not to fail, watched online tutorials on cooking and cleaning hacks. He eventually mastered meal prep, figured out the washing machine, and even learned how to braid my sister's hair. mom, on the other hand, found her rhythm at work. She impressed Dad's colleagues with her organizational skills and efficiency, proving she could handle a corporate environment just as well as she managed our home. Halfway through the month, something unexpected happened. They both started enjoying their new roles. Dad, once skeptical of stay-at-home parents, admitted he liked spending more time with us. mom, who had always wanted to explore a career, felt a sense of accomplishment she hadn't experienced before. They also realized how exhausting each other's responsibilities were, leading to a new level of mutual appreciation. By the end of the month, neither of them wanted to go back entirely to their old routines. Instead of switching back completely, they agreed to share responsibilities more evenly. Dad continued helping with chores and school runs, and mom started working part-time, balancing both work and family life. The dynamic of our home changed, and for the first time, there was a real partnership in everything they did. Their experiment didn't just change their perspective, it changed our entire family dynamic. Arguments about who has it harder disappeared, and teamwork became the norm. Even my siblings and I became more involved in helping out, realizing that running a household or working a full-time job wasn't as easy as we had assumed. The respect we had for each other grew, and our family felt more connected than ever. Now, we laugh about those chaotic first weeks, but deep down, we all know it was the best thing that ever happened to us. My parents no longer take each other's work for granted, and we all function more as a team. What started as a simple role swap ended up teaching us all an important lesson: understanding and appreciating each other's struggles makes a family stronger. My aunt decided to become a psychic, and now we have a family business. One day, she dramatically announced that she had a gift and could communicate with spirits. At first, everyone laughed, thinking it was just another one of her eccentric ideas. But when she started making eerily accurate predictions like Grandma's lost bracelet appearing exactly where she said it would, we began taking her seriously. What started as a joke quickly turned into a strange but profitable adventure. Word spread fast, and soon, neighbors and distant relatives were asking for readings. My aunt, thrilled by the attention, set up a small spiritual corner in our living room, complete with candles, tarot cards, and a crystal ball she bought online. At first, it was just for fun, but after she accurately predicted my cousin's job promotion and my dad's unexpected tax refund, people started offering to pay for her services. That's when the family saw an opportunity. We turned our house into a makeshift psychic parlor. My mom handled the bookings. My uncle set up a website, and my cousin managed social media, posting testimonials from satisfied clients. Even my skeptical dad got involved, researching different psychic techniques to help improve the experience. The business took off faster than we expected, and within a few months, we had more clients than we could handle. My aunt, once considered the family oddball, was now the star of the show. Of course, not everyone believed in her abilities. My little brother tried to prove she was faking by making up a fake problem, but my aunt saw right through it. Even skeptics who came just to test her skills left looking stunned, whether she truly had a gift or was just incredibly intuitive. No one could deny that she had a talent for reading people. It wasn't just about spirits. She knew how to pick up on emotions, body language, and tiny details that most people missed. One night, she hosted an ANC that changed everything. A client claimed to feel a strong presence in the room, and suddenly, a candle flickered out on its own. That was all it took for people to start believing in our haunted sessions. We leaned into it, adding dim lighting, eerie music, and a fog machine to enhance the experience. Whether or not ghosts were real, our clients left feeling something, and that was enough to keep them coming back. The most unexpected part was how close it brought our family. Instead of just another odd hobby, it became a shared project. We worked together, laughed at our mistakes, and even started our own family traditions around it. Every weekend, we'd gather to test new techniques, watch documentaries on the supernatural, and share spooky stories. It wasn't just a business, it was a way for us to bond like never before. Now, we're known as the psychic family in our town. We expanded from simple readings to online consultations, selling charms, and even hosting ghost tours. My aunt still insists her powers are real, and whether that's true or not doesn't really matter anymore. What started as one person's wild idea became something much bigger: family business built on trust, excitement, and a little bit of mystery. Looking back, none of us could have predicted this twist in our lives. We went from rolling our eyes at my aunt's gift to fully embracing it. Whether she's truly psychic or just a great performer, one thing is certain: she brought our family together in a way none of us expected. And in the end, maybe that was the real magic all along. We accidentally threw a family party for the neighbors. Our plan was simple: a quiet family dinner with homemade food and casual conversation. But thanks to a mix-up in the group chats, my dad accidentally sent the invitation to our neighborhood group instead of just the family one. At first, we didn't realize the mistake, but when people started showing up at our door with gifts and dishes to share, we knew something had gone horribly wrong. Panic set in as more and more unfamiliar faces arrived, cheerfully greeting us as if this was an annual tradition. My mom nearly dropped the salad bowl when she saw Mrs. Thompson from 3 houses down stepping inside with a tray of cookies. My dad, looking guilty, whispered to me that he had maybe invited the entire street by accident. By then, it was too late to do anything but go along with it. Our small dinner had turned into a full-blown neighborhood party. At first, it was awkward. Some of our guests had never even spoken to each other before. Our dining table, which was meant to seat just close family, was now surrounded by people balancing plates in their laps. My little brother started passing out mismatched chairs, while my cousin turned on some music to fill the silence. Within minutes, what could have been a disaster turned into something oddly fun: strangers laughing, sharing stories, and eating together like old friends. One of the neighbors, Mr. Carter, turned out to be an amazing storyteller. He had everyone gathered around, listening to his wild tales about his adventures as a young man. Meanwhile, Mrs. Patel brought homemade samosas that were gone in minutes, and someone even set up a small dance area in the living room. The tension disappeared, and suddenly, it felt like this party had been planned all along. Even my mom, who had been mortified at first, was enjoying herself. As the evening went on, we learned so much about the people who lived just a few houses away from us. The quiet couple at the end of the street turned out to be retired musicians, and the grumpy old man who always yelled about kids on his lawn. He actually loved playing chess and promised to teach my brother. It was strange how we had lived near these people for years, but never really knew them until now. The accidental party was bringing everyone together. By the time dessert rolled around, no one wanted to leave. Someone suggested making this a regular thing, maybe a monthly neighborhood dinner where everyone could bring a dish and share stories. My dad, still embarrassed but clearly happy, agreed that it was a great idea. The funniest part: most of the food wasn't even ours anymore. Our guests had brought so much that we ended up with a feast far better than our original dinner plan. As the night wound down, our family sat together, exhausted but smiling. What had started as a disaster had turned into one of the best nights we'd had in years. We didn't just meet our neighbors, we bonded with them. The people who were once just faces passing by had become friends. It was proof that sometimes the best things happen when you least expect them. Now, our accidental tradition continues. Once a month, our street gathers for a big shared meal, and our house is often the center of it. My dad's mistake turned out to be the best thing that could have happened to our neighborhood. What was supposed to be just a simple family dinner ended up bringing an entire community together. And honestly, we wouldn't have it any other way.